Hi. Hopefully, you guys are hearing me now. I hope. I'm so sorry about the lack of audio on the last live, which I think I killed by trying to fix the audio. So I started a new live, and here we are. Friday session fun with dry herb vaporizers is my goal to talk about today. So, hi. I hope that, for example, Renee, you were with me. I saw you there. Thanks for coming on board. If I missed you and accidentally kicked you out, I'm so sorry. Anyways, oh, she's back. Happy Friday. Okay, great. Give me a thumbs up for audio. I think it's good now, right? All right, perfect. My God. Anyways, yeah, happy Friday, everyone. Let's have a little bit of some fun today. Oh, hi, JJ. Nice to see you. Yay. Happy Friday, Friday, Friday. Oh, yes. If you want to get your sesh out, I do too. Oh my gosh, I have everything out but cannabis. How silly of me, right? That's bad. Okay, I've got some cannabis now. So let's talk about dry herb vaporizers, my favorite thing. Oh my God, I love these things so much. My very most favorite one is the Mighty by Stores and Bickle, even though, it's the most expensive or maybe because of it. But here I brought some other ones to share with you, as well as let's just talk about it a little bit. What is dry herb vaporizing? Dry herb vaporizing is using a device like this to heat up your cannabis so that it will vaporize. The cannabinoids and the trichomes will vaporize. And that allows you to inhale the vapor of it without inhaling the smoke of it. Because combusting or lighting cannabis on fire creates smoke. Smoke itself is a little bit toxic just by itself, all kinds of smoke, even from like your candles, even from like your stove. And so if you're trying to be like, very toxic and free, and you're trying to avoid putting like carcinogens in your lungs, you might want to avoid smoking. For example, my husband, who only really started cannabis because I got super into it lately, in his 40s, was anti-smoking. And you'll hear him in our podcast talking about how when he was younger, he was into like theater and being on stage, speaking and singing. And so he was like, no to smoking. He was like, if you offered him a joint at a party like this, cool situation right here with these little mini joints from Lowell Smokes, which they don't pay me to advertise them, he would say, no. I would say, yes. And that's one of the differences between he and I. Even though I love dry herb vaporizing, occasionally you'll see me catch a smoke. It's not a big deal to me. However, this is my main go-to every day, all the time. Why? Why is dry herb vaporizing advantageous over smoking besides the lungs and the health part? Right? Like, hey, it's like another good advantage of it, especially if you're like around people and around the house and stuff, is that the vapor doesn't get into fabrics and it doesn't get into your clothes and hair as much. It's not as smelly, period. So it's a lot more discreet. I should have brought down like a vape cartridge pen, but I don't see one in front of me, and I know I don't have one in my bag. But those cartridge pens with the distillates or maybe the live resins in them inside of them, that when people vape with them, the clouds are pretty white and the smell doesn't really linger and it doesn't really get on their clothes and hair. So that's something that's very handy about dry herb vaporizing. Not only is it healthy, it's discreet too, right? Isn't that fab? What are the downsides of dry herb vaporizing? Some of the downsides is that you have to buy a device to do it. You can't just, have a pre-roll. And this seems like simpler for some reason. Although if you've ever tried to roll some joints, it's not that simple. It's not that simple. And so doing the investment of buying a device can put people off because it's like, oh, I have to spend money to get into this dry herb vaporizing thing. And I won't even lie, this dry herb vaporizer, for example, costs like 350 American dollars. It's one of the most expensive you can buy. This is my second one though. I love it. It's super reliable. It's like the best of the best. We'll talk about it more. But let's look at a dry herb vaporizer that's not too expensive. This is a Flowermate this is a Flowermate V5.0 by the company Flowermate. And this is a very inexpensive dry herb vaporizer that has like a removable glass mouthpiece that can also store down below, which is really cool. And oh, good, it was loaded. That's wonderful. It costs about $70 US, or it did when I bought one before. And I bought all of these for my family one year for Christmas presents because I thought they were super cute. They come in all different colors. They cost under $100. It's a good vaporizer. It's very inexpensive. It looks like a, what do you call these things? A battery pack, sort of. It looks like a battery pack. And that's a decent intro vape. I have an intro vape that I think is even better, which is the One by Planet of the Vapes, which is my most recommended online retailer of vaporizers. They don't ship to every state, unfortunately. I interviewed my friend Jesse Power, and his interviews on my YouTube channel this morning about his dryer vape use, and he said, "Oh, Planet of the Vapes doesn't ship to my state." And I was like, "Oh, that's such a bummer." But Planet of the Vapes is where I get all my vaporizers and where I recommend you do too. The Flowermate is a decent intro vape, sure, but there's one that's better. I just don't have it on my table. Why? Because I sent it to Jesse. And if you watch his interview with me, I asked him, "So how did it go with the POTV one that I sent you?" And he said, "Well, let me tell you. I hope you watch this part of the interview because it's really good. His brother had some friends over that are all smokers. And he was able to use his Planet of the Vapes one with different adapters to kind of satisfy each of the different friends that was over, even though they have their own smoking styles. So for example, joints is one smoking style, pre-rolls, something that looks like a cigarette, blunts, this kind of smoking style. I think for that friend, what he set him up with was just a straight mouthpiece, just like straight from the plant into the mouth and into the lungs. And that person enjoyed it a lot. And then the next person, he was a like bong, somebody who likes bongs. And so I think he used like a little device, kind of like this one right here. There's a little glass piece that can go into, a vaporizer and make it possible to hit it with a glass piece that you might have. For example, like this recycler that I have. Not exactly like this, but imagine something that kind of allowed this to happen. And then you could use it with your glass piece, your bong. And he had one of those because I sent it to him. And he was able to set up one of his friends with a bong sort of setup that's their preference. And I forgot what the last person liked. I think it was like a bubbler, but I had also sent him a curved bubbler, which is a mouthpiece that goes on top of the POTV one that holds a little bit of water so that you can bubble through it. And that guy was happy too. So, oh my God, every person used the vaporizer and was able to enjoy it, even though they're smokers. And he said they had a great time. So I was really happy to hear that. It's amazing. I think dryer vaporizers aren't very well known. I don't think enough people really that feels good know about them enough. And so I try to talk about them. I have several videos on my channel about them, and let's learn a little bit more about them. So these three right here are called portable vaporizers. They have independent power batteries. They last for a certain amount of time, depending on their battery. They have to be recharged, but you can put them in your purse, pocket, hoodie pocket. There it is in the hoodie pocket. You'll find mine in there. And look, this is the hoodie pocket with a Mighty and a phone in it. There you go. It looked like a marsupial, but that's Michelle Crawford every day, all day. Mighty phone. Like that. Mighty phone. This is pretty much it, you guys. Rep your state of mind, okay? Ta-da. So portable vapes have the ability for you to take them around. They do run out of battery, but they are portable, so that's great. What do I mean by portable versus like not portable? Okay, let's look at some not portable examples. God, I'm afraid that's going to fall down because it's just terrible. But here's, this is what brought Jesse and me together. Both of us liked this company called Vape Exhale. They make this product called the EVO. This is a desktop vape. See this giant like plug coming out of it? This is what powers the EVO. And it works on, plugged in electricity. Another vape I have that is another desktop is, hold on, I got to move all this stuff, is the Volcano by Stores and Bickle. It's right here. I just have to come and get it. Again, this one is, this one is a plug-in model. I just took the plug out though because it's hard. There's the plug right there. And so here's a couple of desktop vaporizers that work a little bit differently from each other. The Mighty is very rugged. The Mighty is made out of a really rugged plastic that can take a spill. Another reason why I like it so much and recommend it so much is because it's so durable. You saw it just drop off the table. I just know it's going to fall down. All right. So these are portables. These are desktops. Desktops plug into the wall. Portables have to go. Yeah, I am a super enthusiast. This is not even my whole collection. This is just literally a few that I was able to put my hands on in the like 10 minutes that I had to prepare to make this video. So yeah, I have other videos where I show more of my collection, but even that isn't the full one. I follow these guys on the internet. They're called Troy and Jerry. They have a show called Think Dank, Troy and Jerry, Think Dank. And my husband calls them the old geezers. Like they're two, probably not much older than me guys, but they've been online for a while reviewing vaporizers. And I love vaporizers, so I follow them. You know, each one has its own little special advantages and disadvantages. And, you know, when you're into something, you're into it. Let's talk about some of the disadvantages and advantages. So this one is inexpensive. However, it's not the lightest, it's heavy. This part is made of glass, which could break. You saw how my Mighty just fell on the ground. That would have, if that had happened with this or this, they probably would have broken the glass part, right? The battery doesn't last forever. It lasts okay, maybe 30 minutes, which is very normal for a portable vape, but that might not be long enough for you, right? Here's another vaporizer called the Solo 2 by Arizer. I have a whole giant blog about this amazing vaporizer on my website, cannacuriouscoaching.com. So this vaporizer is super well known for being high quality, Canadian made, and having a 3-hour battery life. Even beats the stuffing out of the Mighty. The Mighty's 90 minutes. Most vaporizers are around 30 minutes. 3 hours, the queen of vaporizers, the king, I don't know, whatever you want to call it. Long lasting, you know. It's not super light. It's a little bit heavy, and this glass part that it comes with is not my most favorite. It's yeah, if it fell on the ground, like I said, it would be broken. So when you're thinking about taking something around, that's not so great. Also, I don't love it for that. Like, really, this is not gonna happen. I'm not gonna throw a glass tube like in my pocket like that. However, that doesn't mean that this isn't a great vape and that it doesn't have its uses. I think it's awesome at parties. It lasts forever. You know, if you have like vaporizers around the table for your dining guests to try, something I like to do, this is handy because you refill the bottom part with herb like so, and then load it into here. So, and then you can take a hit from it. You can also make this more durable by buying a different glass mouthpiece here. Actually, not glass. There's a company called Ed's TNT that makes a wood mouthpiece, and that piece is not going to break. So my son down in San Diego has the wood mouthpiece for the Solo 2, and he takes that to parties and stuff. He's 24. So he just recently took his Solo 2, and I was like, did you really take that to a party? He's like, yeah, I did. With the Ed's TNT mouthpiece, the wooden one. Comes in different woods if you want to pick your different wood color. They're cute and everything. And apparently he got into some conversations with people about it. They were super interested to learn about them and try it. So I was proud of him. Good job, Miles. I'm proud of you, son. The Solo 2, a great vaporizer. If you want to find out more about it, go check out my blog about it on cannacuriouscoaching.com. But let's get to my favorite. My favorite is the Mighty. For as expensive as this is, I cannot say enough good things about it. And part of me is like sad that I love it so much because I really avoided it. You know, when something's expensive and you know about it, but you're like, I'm never going to like that. I don't even want to try that. Don't even touch me with that thing. Because look at it. It's not the prettiest. It's just, you know, whatever. But especially when you see these cute colors, and there's vaporizers that are cool looking. Anyways, but like everyday use, the durability of it, the fact that it is so easy to load and unload, like it's perfect for people who don't want to mess with something hard to deal with. It takes almost no upkeep. Its cleaning is simple, and the puffs. Watch this. Nice puffs, right? Beautiful clouds, right? Right. The taste, delicious. The quality, impeccable. German engineering, as they say. It is made in Germany by Stores and Bickel. I do have a link to POTV, so you can buy this there too. They just had their big 420 sale, but quality is never something is always a bargain. Better quality is always a bargain in the end. So the Mighty Plus is my favorite. If you want to spend a little bit less but still want a Mighty, there are a couple of options. there is the Mighty Original, which is not the Plus. What are the differences? The difference mainly is the charging. So the recharge on this is with USB-C. I have a USB-C laptop charger, so I find this really handy. I've got my laptop, I've got the charger for it. I use it to charge my Mighty. I use it to charge my laptop, just back and forth all day. So the other one uses a pin, like a different kind of charger, not USB-C. That makes it a little bit cheaper. The buttons are a slightly different color. The oven is a slightly different oven, but there's really nothing to it. Other than that, they function pretty much exactly the same, and they are almost identical and both of excellent quality. And you can save about $50 with the original Mighty. Another thing, I hope JJ, yeah, there she is. I hope JJ will mention that she has the Crafty. The Crafty is the little brother or sister of the Mighty. It's a smaller device with only half the battery. So you see that there's like 1, 2, 3 parts here. This middle part is where the air is convection heated and goes up into the oven. And then it goes through this top part, which has a lot of little fluffing chambers to cool down your vapor and make it nice for you before it exits out the straw. So in the Crafty, you're missing one of the batteries. So it basically looks like half a Mighty like this and a little bit shorter. And it has roughly half the battery capacity of the Mighty, which is about 90 minutes. So that's another less expensive option. Yay, JJ, thanks for the thumbs up. That's right. And I know you have some other, I've gotten you, if you weren't already into it, the vape ups and downs. I know you're trying out different models like the Utilian and stuff. And I love this world. It's so fun. Okay, so these are all the portables that I could put my hands on. Let's talk about the desktops. All right, here's the desktops. They're not plugged in really, so I can't use them in front of you. But what was cool about the Vape Exhale EVO is that it's a beautiful device that's simple to use. It has turn on, turn off. This analog dial is the temperature adjustment. The air is heated inside of the device and through a glass bamboo is what they called it in the center, kind of a lot like this one. The heating is, from the air is heated in the bottom, it comes up through a central heating thing and then hits the oven. This one was very similar. The air is heated inside and it comes up through the center and out the top. I don't have the little, it used to come with these little hydro tubes that you would kind of sit on top and be able to sip from. But now all I have is this piece and it's out of production now. So I have to connect it. This is another thing about dry herb vaporizing that's hilarious, is that sometimes you end up with these jerry-rigged situations where you're trying to use things. But if you just kind of go with it, it will give you a lot of, that's how you would use this if it was on. It will give you a lot of flexibility, understanding that all of this is possible. So if you love bongs and you have some glass that you are just no, Michelle, I'm never going to give up smoking because I need to use this glass. Well, guess what? You can use your favorite glass with a water pipe adapter. I didn't bring one down with me, but with a Mighty, just stick it right there and bada boom, bada bing. It will totally work and you can still use your favorite glass. And as a matter of fact, your glass will stay a hell of a lot cleaner after this because, vapor is a lot cleaner than smoke. Yeah, I mean, I love glass too. Sometimes it's really, this is my best glass by far. It was gifted to me by the people at Vape Exhale. Did you see the cool, recycling action? It recycles through all of those little loops. So cool. And it has a little astronaut on it, which I love. But sadly, this company is not in business anymore, so I shouldn't probably talk about them so much. Here's a desktop vaporizer that you can actually buy. Right? It was beautiful. This is an actual Volcano by Storz & Bickel. Let me see if I can get it plugged in and stuff like that so you can see how it really works. Here's all of its parts. Let's go ahead and grab them. Oh, okay. The Storz & Bickel Volcano is legitimately famous. It's been in movies. This is the newest hybrid version of it. Not the newest because they have some colors that you can buy now that are really cool and in. But how does it work? The cannabis goes in here. It's probably full. And you put this here. Let's see. The hybrid has 2 options. One is the very famous bag, which is this right here. Okay, I'm just going to put that right there. The bag is like so. It's crinkly. That's something I don't love. I don't love the crinkleness of the bag. The other thing that and you would put the bag like right on top, press the buttons, it will fill up, and then you can see this little thing, it's a mouthpiece. Stick it on there and like suck it up. It actually tastes good. Wow. There was like some leftover vapor in there of something really delicious. The other thing you can do with the crinkle, I know it's so loud. I used to keep this on my nightstand, and I have a baby, and well, now he's not a baby anymore. He's like a kindergartner about to be. But that crinkling was a no-go. That was like, forget about it. That thing was ridiculous. It also makes noise when it's blowing, which is like, oh, I can't even. So now this guy lives in the kitchen where all of that noise is not a problem. And also where I can share with people. The other thing that the hybrid can do is hookah style with what they call the whip. This is called a whip. Whip it good. No. Now whip it into shape. So when you turn it on and heat it up, you can have fan blowing and like literally like blow vapor out of this thing and just like sip it like a student glass. If you've ever seen that vapor bong, that like when you flip it over, the smoke just comes out because of the pressure of the water. You can press a fan on this guy and it will blow right out into you. So it's kind of fun for parties. The other thing you can do is just sip from it. You don't have to have the fan on at all. This vaporizer has temperature settings from extremely low, like 200, all the way up to like 410, something like that, 430, to get the full range of cannabinoids and terpenes and everything at every possible vaporization point. I do like the Volcano. I got a great deal on it. Like 420 just passed, so I'm sorry to be talking about this, but 420 is often a great time to shop for cannabis stuff. It's our cannabis holiday in America. So, all the cannabis like retailers are offering the great deals. However, don't be sad if you missed out on 420 because Black Friday is also a big shopping day. So, a lot of the retailers will come up with really good deals for Black Friday as well. So if you're worried about that, don't be. You can get a good deal anytime. Let's do another puff, and I'm going to check the chat. Crinkle, crinkle, crinkle. JJ loves her utilitarian. I like that you can fill the pod so that you're prepped for travel. Oh, yeah, with the crafty. I didn't mention that. And somebody loves glass, the hubby. Yep, definitely. Something that's cool about dryer vaporizers, the crafty and the mighty, and the POTV one also has like little tiny pods, I guess you could call them pods, really small, like the size of your thumb tip, that hold cannabis the size of your oven. So cannabis about that much, see that little nug in there? That's another thing about me. Did you see me grind anything? No, I literally just stuffed a little piece of nug in the mighty, which I always do all the time. So lazy. But with the mighty and the crafty and some of the other better vapes, you can pre-pack a little pod of to-go doses for yourself. You can do this as a dosing math thing. Like if you want to have a certain specific dose, you can fill it up with a certain chemovar with a known potency to a certain weight and have like a dosing situation for yourself if you want that. That's why they're called dosing capsules. You have to do math to accomplish this, but Stores and Bickle has several videos about this, and so do other people. I don't, but you can look this up. Also, if you're not into dosing with them, you can just pack them with whatever blend you're working with and take it with you. And it's a super easy way to like empty out your device and then refill it on the go without any loose herbs anywhere. It's very discreet and super handy. I'm so glad you mentioned that, JJ. That's a really good point. Let's see. Smoking is just such the norm in cannabis that dryer vaporizing just seems like a weird thing to do. But I think as more and more people are coming to cannabis, more and more people are becoming aware of the options. Since nicotine and like liquid nicotine vaping is very prominent, it's very out there, and vape pens and cartridges for cannabis are fairly out there, I don't think it's too hard for people to kind of make that leap into dry herb vaporizing. But, it's just a different look, right? Like, how many times do you go to a party and see this? And how many times do you go to a party and see this? But if you come to my parties, you'll see a lot more of this. So, and I hope that that's something that you would like. But I think as times move on, we'll see more and more dryer vaporizers. It is a great option. You know what I didn't talk about? The money savings. Something about that I learned from the Vape Exhale EVO website back in the day, like 10 years ago. You guys don't even know my love for this thing. You should watch the video. Both me and Jesse would buy this thing again, even though they went out of business and we're sad because we loved it so much. And he's using Cannabis Hardware now, CH, the flower pot people, American company. I'm really hoping they'll send me a sample. I would like to try it. Jesse's all the way in Massachusetts, so I don't think I'm going to get to try his anytime soon. I don't have any plans to travel there. And, you know, I don't think we're going to ship it across the country back and forth. So, hey, Cannabis Hardware, if you want me to review your stuff, let me know. I'm ready. However, you know, let's talk about cost savings with dry herb vaporizing in general. So a lot of the things that I like to talk about with cannabis have to do with making your lifestyle around it more sustainable, even in the face of the high cost of the dispensary. So one way that I talk about doing that is by home growing and making that legal where you are. Home growing and supporting being a cannabis gardener is one way to make your cannabis more affordable, as is learning to DIY with cannabis, the way that I teach in my homemade health course, which expands your understanding of how to use cannabis in different ways to help your body. And that will actually kind of help you use less of it in the long run, because you're using it more effectively. You're using more cannabinoids, which sounds like, you know, oh, I'm getting more cannabinoids, but I'm saving money. I promise it's all true. All right, dry herb vaporizing. Why do you save money with it? Well, without combusting, you can actually use your leftover already been vaped material for other purposes. You can eat it, you can extract it, you can infuse with it and make an oil, a topical, something like that. Of course, you are going to have taken some of the cannabinoids off of it in your vaping, but there's still plenty there. And if you're frugal with cannabis, like a lot of people are, this is something that you might be really interested in doing. Additionally, and probably more importantly, the effects that you can get from smaller amounts of cannabis are higher. And I mean higher. Like you can get high from less THC cannabis that you're buying expensively at the dispensary if you're not growing it at home, for example. Making your cannabis stretch farther and farther and farther than you ever imagined. Tiny amounts of cannabis. Like how much is in here? I'm not even done vaping this yet at all. And this is like a tiny amount. Look at this tiny amount of cannabis that was in my Mighty producing those clouds. And I can still go. There's still more here. Like, I'll show you. You can make your cannabis go a lot farther. JJ, I wonder in the chat if you want to mention, if you have any experience of this, how much you are saving or how much longer your smoking vaping cannabis is stretching for you. I know for me, I mean, it's endless. I basically never can run out. Well, I grow too. But yeah, it will make your cannabis stretch a lot farther between the actual vaping of it and getting the effects faster through inhaling. And then also through being able to use the ABV. It will really save you money in the long run, even though you have to invest in a device. I think it's super worth it. The device will last a long time, especially when like the Mighty, who has a company, and the Volcano, who have a company behind it that is super, super rock solid. And you're going to get replacement parts no matter what. They're not going out of business. And ask me how I know. It's so sad, right? You can't. You have to go with quality. You have to go with reliability. All right, I'm gonna look at the chat. And you can use the ABV in edibles. Yes, that's absolutely right. Oh, JJ says that the Storz & Bickel vaporizers are approved by Health Canada as a medical device. Thank you so much for mentioning that. It's true. Of course, America is far behind y'all, but we do have the approval of these devices in certain countries as medical devices, which means that if you have a condition that qualifies and you are eligible, your device could be free or could be covered by your health insurance. That's governmental. This is true in Israel, where they use this device even in hospitals to treat people with cannabis. This is also true in Germany, where you can have a Storz & Bickel Mighty if you're an asthmatic, for example. So many things, so many reasons to get into dry herb vaporizing. Well, I really hope that you enjoyed this little session with me and all my devices, right? And if you want more dry herb vaporizing content, please check out my channel. I have more videos about me, my collection of vaporizers, more on display, and my video with Jesse, my friend from Massachusetts, where we talk about exchanging EVOs and the POTV one and what we like and don't like about different kind of vapes. All right, everyone. Thanks so much for joining me this whole week. If you're interested in learning how to be a DIYer and a kitchen witch, freaking come and join me at Homemade Health. The next class starts next Friday, 1 week from now. Homemade Health, the 12th of May. Bong, bong, bong. The bell is tolling for Homemade Health. You must start. Get on the ball. If you're interested in finding out more about that, please check out my website. It's cannacuriouscoaching.com. If that's too hard for you, it's Michelle Crawford Coaching. It will redirect you right over there. Check out a Homemade Health. Sign up. Be with me next Friday on the 12th. And become the kitchen witch that you know you want to be. Come on, you want to be like me and do all this stuff and be rad. And I want you to also. As a matter of fact, I want you to be even cooler and radder than me. So make that a goal. Signing off. It's Michelle Crawford. Bye. Love you.